What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to be taking the engine out of my 1985 Toyota MR2 Mark 1. This thing has been immobile for the past couple of years. The engine needs a rebuild. So as you can see, it is extremely dusty. Sorry for any outside noise. I live right next to the highway, but as you can see, it's super dusty, it's pretty grimy, it's pretty nasty, but we're going to try to take the engine out today. I already prepped it. I took the intake off, disconnected the wiring harness and stuff like that. Only thing now is to remove the bolts for the motor mounts and drop this thing out. A couple upgrades for the car, just a little bit of suspension stuff, new bushings, tie rods, control arms, stuff like that. But I also have another transmission, another C52 with an LSD in it. So it's got a limited slip diff. I actually got it for free from my buddy Kevin. So we're going to be swapping that onto this engine, along with giving it a much needed freshening up. So what happened with this one was it has no compression in cylinder number 3 via compression test. So which leads me to believe it was the valves were not seated properly. So the rings are new and all that type of stuff. I did a previous rebuild on it, but it was my very first rebuild, and I wasn't very confident in my inexperience. So I'm gonna take it apart again. I was trying to find a 7A FE block yesterday to make a 7AG conversion for this, but went to the junkyard yesterday and it was a failed attempt. I did manage to find a couple of 7A FE engines, but they were up there in miles. So they had about 260,000 miles, 230,000 miles. Like, it was pretty ridiculous and just not practical for me. So I'll just take this thing apart, redo the valves on the head, obviously just a new head gasket, bolt it all back together, make sure the rotating assembly is all balanced, gap the rings, stuff like that, and it'll be done. Put it all back together and throw it back in. We'll definitely need to do give this thing a good pressure wash because it's obviously very disgusting. And as you can see here, I wrote "Fix Me" and 7AGE, as you can tell, was my plan. But like I said, I didn't find a block yesterday. So without further ado, we're going to just go ahead and start dropping the engine. I already put the car on jack stands and I lifted it up quite a bit. So we'll see what magic we can make happen here. Okay, so I was having trouble with this bolt right here out of this last motor mount. So I just used a wrench and my impact to try and wedge it out. And now when I did that, that was the last bolt. And as you can see, the engine is tilted sideways. So now it moves freely within the engine bay. I'm gonna double check everything to make sure that it is all disconnected and go ahead and lower the engine hoist so that it can be removed from the car. Okay, after a little bit of a struggle, the engine is finally out and on the ground. As you can see, I got a little bit of coolant everywhere, but overall it wasn't too bad. Like I said, just had a little bit of a struggle, but it wasn't all that bad. What I did was I used the load leveler on the hoist itself to try and finagle it to work with me. But the engine's out. All I got to do now is lift the car higher in order to be able to slide the engine out from under the bottom. So it's sitting out over here. It's good I'm not using this transmission because, as you can see right here, this mounting bolt is cracked. So anybody needs a C52 transmission, low miles, 150K, hit me up. 200 bucks. But anyway, now it's time to take this engine apart and rebuild it and throw it back in.